Hello, my name is Jooyhung Park. I am an assistant professor at the University of South Carolina. The title of the research I will talk about today is Understanding Consumers' Recycling Behavior, combining the theory of planned behavior and the norm activation model. Dr. Sejin at the University of Tennessee worked together with me for this particular study. Unfortunately, both of us are currently traveling abroad. We are sorry that we could not make it to the conference and had to miss the chance to meet you all in person. We would like to thank Dr. Divani and the editorial board of the Family and Consumer Sciences Research Journal. We are truly honored to receive this prestigious award. The purpose of our study is to understand why some consumers recycle various materials on a regular basis and are strongly committed to the idea of saving resources and protecting environment, while others are not. During the last few decades, there has been a growing interest in environmental sustainability. Today, our society as a whole recognizes the environmental impacts we make, and most of us agree that something has to be done to minimize the ecological footprint. However, this growing interest does not necessarily mean all consumers practice the idea and perform pro-environmental behaviors like recycling. This is what motivated us. We wanted to understand essential psychological factors that make consumers to engage in recycling. As all other researchers do, we looked into literatures in various disciplines such as environmental psychology, altruistic behavior, and consumer behavior. There was an extensive literature providing different angles to why and how of recycling. As we learned more and more, however, it became obvious that most of the literature took on either one of two perspectives. One explained recycling as a behavior motivated by self-interest, and the other explained recycling as a normative behavior. Studies from the self-interest perspective mostly built on the theory of planned behavior, also called TPB by Sejin. According to TPB, one's behavior is a matter of his intention to perform the behavior, which in turn is a function of three factors: attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control. Attitude is one's positive or negative evaluation of certain behavior based on the belief that it will bring about favorable or unfavorable consequences. Subjective norm is one's perception of what significant others expect him to do. Perceived behavior control is one's perceived ease or difficulty of performing the behavior. On the other hand, the studies taking on the normative approach mainly relied on the norm activation model by Schwartz. The model mainly concerns an altruistic behavior, which is often characterized by sacrificing one's own interest for the well-being of others, because individuals feel strong obligation to do the right thing. According to the norm activation model, altruistic behavior is a function of personal norm, which refers to one's self-expectation for his own behavior. Basically, it answers to the question of what he thinks he should do, which is different from what others think he should do. As far as consumers' recycling behavior is concerned, we thought both perspectives need to be considered. Consumers engage in recycling not only because they perceive its economic and environmental benefits, but also because they believe it is the right thing to do, although it takes additional efforts for them without immediate personal benefits. So we conducted an online survey on a panel of U.S. consumers. The result showed that attitude toward recycling and perceived behavior control from the TPB and personal norm from the norm activation model directly influence consumers' recycling intention, which supports our approach that combines the two perspectives. Interestingly, when the two perspectives were considered together, subjective norm influenced recycling intention only indirectly through the three determinants of attitude, perceived behavior control, and personal norm, with no direct effect. This result suggests that social expectation is an important factor as it helps to develop favorable attitude and a sense of personal obligation and behavior control toward recycling, although social expectation in itself may not enough to induce actual behavior. Thank you for your time.